Okay, there's still quite a number of students not here yet, but it's 11:02. I'm just going to start. Okay, so I have seen your submitted answers. Okay, so this is one part of the mock exam paper that we are doing, remember? So this particular section seems to be pretty easy. Okay, I see someone typing in the answer. It's Tommy, is that? Tommy, let me add your name in. So Tommy, okay. Yeah. All right. Most of you don't have any issue with the MCQ. Okay. Yep. Today's is very short. That is how the exam is like as well. Okay. Many of these questions actually are quite straightforward. Okay. Because these are also questions that appear in prelim exam of other schools. And you should know, of course, there are questions that are easier for PSLE. There are also questions that are more difficult. We have seen many difficult questions previously, but it doesn't mean when the questions are easy, your answers are correct. Agree? It may look very easy, but let's say the way you're answering the question is not acceptable, you are still going to be marked wrong. Correct? Now, if you can see my screen, we are at question 1. Yeah, thank you, Wilma. Wilma fast. Wilma wants to play game, is it? Yeah, the games that you play is still going to be related to science. So I don't mind letting you play. Yeah, everyone is putting in the answer. Thank you so much. I also see it inside the answers that you submitted, okay, in the Google Sheet. So 4 statements are made here about organism Z. Okay, what is organism Z? Okay, and which of the following statement shows that organism Z is not a plant? Yeah, so yeah, I have answers coming in so fast. Very good. Okay, fungi. And then somebody even wrote something before I can ask. Okay, I wanted to ask what else has spores, but it's actually a plant. Okay, because a lot of you say that, oh, fungi reproduce by spores. Yes, you know that is a fern, right? So ferns also reproduces by spores, but it is a plant. You need to write down non-flowering plant. Good. Mushroom cannot make its own food. Fungi cannot make its own food. Good job there. Okay, so what is this answer here? Of course, we know this is C. What other term do you give a fungi? What other term do you give a fungi? Especially, when we talk about the food web or the food chain. When it has got to do with the food web or the food chain, there is this particular term, decomposer. Yes, fungi is a decomposer. It feeds on alive or dead organisms. Very good. Okay, so let's go on. Okay, question 2. Organs W, X, Y, and Z are part of the human digestive system. The table shows the function of organs W, X, Y, and Z. I want to ask you this question. I know this is an easy one, but I want you to tell me how you derive your answer. I think it's important that you know how to actually derive your answer, and there are, of course, shortcuts to do it. Okay? There are, of course, shortcuts to do it. There are ways for you to derive the answer easily. Yep, some of you are telling me, okay, I will be looking at where is the large intestine. Yes, somebody said that is good. So what information would tell you is the large intestine? What information over here? Absorption of water. Very good. So absorption of water only takes place in the large intestine. So therefore, Y must be our large intestine. Good. Okay, and then what is the next thing you will look for? What is the next thing that you will look for that will immediately tell you the answer? All right, so large intestine is Y, right? So we have large intestine. Okay, that means this is wrong already. Next thing we look at is absorption of digested food. And that part is only the small intestine in our body. Okay, so this must be the small intestine. In fact, you only need these 2 pieces of information, okay, to identify your answer, to derive at your answer. So what is our answer here? W is small intestine. This is wrong. This is correct. Answer is C. Okay. All right. Question 3. Now, study the diagrams below. Which of these statements are correct? Fertilization happens at part P. Where is part P? Okay, where is part P? Does fertilization takes place there? No, it's false. Okay, this is not true. What about parts M and Q? M and Q, do they produce male reproductive cells? Is that right? True. Very good. Yep, this is true. Okay. Now, a fertilized egg cell will develop in parts N and O. N and O. Okay. A fertilized egg cell will develop in parts N and O. Is it correct? No. Okay. O points to the stigma. Exactly. So this is the wrong part. Okay. So what is our answer here? Our answer here is B only, which is option A. Okay, so these few questions, no problem. All of you can do this. Yes, thank you. Right, I see you also enthusiastically typing in. I like that. Okay, question 4. Organism Q lives in the coastal region. What is the meaning of coastal region? Do you know? What's the meaning of coastal region? Yeah, probably somewhere, near the beach. Okay, yeah. Very good. Near the seashore. Okay, seaside. Okay, good. So these are the various locations. Coastal region. It produces a sticky substance that will attach itself to rocks so that it does not get washed away easily by strong waves. So it wants to attach itself to rocks. Okay, an experiment was conducted to find out how temperature of water affects the effectiveness of the sticky substance. Okay, so the graph below shows the result. So if the water is at 0 degrees, there are only this number of organisms sticking to the rock. That means the sticky substance works such that, there are these number there. Not too bad, a number. Okay, but as the temperature rises, up to 10 degrees, do you see this is actually, one of the best temperature? Because we have a lot of organism Q stuck on the rocks. That means that sticky substance can actually stick on very well. Okay, so this goes on for a few of the next higher temperatures also until this point, right? Until this point. So this is maybe about 16, 17 degrees. All right, and after that, if I increase the temperature further, I get lesser and lesser Q sticking on the rocks. The worst is when you reach 25 degrees and beyond. So they ask you now, what do you think is the best location, A, B, C, D, which will be most suitable for rearing the organism Q? Which one will be the best? Is it location A? Look at the temperature. It's at 21 to 26. 21 to 26, you get lesser and lesser Q. So no. Is it location B between 10 to 20? Yeah. Is it going to be the highest range? Okay. Of course, up to 17, it may drop a little, but it's still going to be pretty high, right? So this is suspected to be a good location. Let's look at location C, 28. 28 and above? No, definitely not. So little organism Q. What about 1 to 9? 1 to 9. 1 to 9 is probably around here. So this range. It didn't reach the maximum. So sorry, not you. So we will stick to location B. Okay? Location B. Understand now? Okay, so we have to refer back to the graph all the time. Look at where we have the most, organism. Then we choose that spot. Very good. Okay, so let's go on to question 5. Food web below shows food relationships between organisms P, Q, and R. Okay, so during winter, okay, let's not look at winter first. Let's look at the first one. Okay, tell me, what is P? What do you think is P over here? What do you think is P over here? The producer. Okay, usually I like to circle the producer. Okay, so it's not that because it's a letter P, so we call it producer. Okay, it is because it eats nothing, right? It consumes nothing. It's in fact being eaten by R as well as Q. So if you were to look at R and then at Q, okay, both of them actually eats P, but Q also eats R. So far, so good, right? So next, during winter, organism S, we have a new friend coming in. It moved into the habitat. All right. Yeah, it moved into the habitat and fed on P and Q. P is so popular. It's eaten by all organisms. Correct. So the graph here shows you organism Q over a period of time. At which point on the graph did organism S move into the habitat? Okay. At which point? All right. So make a guess. Yeah. So some of you actually put down the different plant eater, animal eater you identify for me. That's nice. Okay. Question seems familiar. Yeah. Many schools, they will actually take questions from everywhere. They change it a little bit here and then it will look similar, but the questions will be different. All right. So why not D? Why is it not D? D is where you have the least number of Q, isn't it? So this is where organism S came in. Why not? Cannot be D. Yeah, okay, D. D is already the point it has decreased to the lowest, you are saying. So before that, how come it reached D is because of what happened earlier, right? So that's why S entered at this point. S entered at this point and start eating Q until Q came to a low number. After that, okay, so answer is C, you're right. After that, what happened? How come Q increased in numbers again? Okay, past tense, present tense. Thank you. I like that. How come D start to increase in numbers again? Any idea? Why? What happened? What do you mean by migrated? S went to other habitat. This must be because it says that during winter, organism S move into the habitat, right? If I were to ask you one more question, why did organism Q increase in numbers? You can say, you can make a lot of prediction. There is another, the S is affected by a disease, so it died, no longer eating Q, so Q start to increase in number. Or you can say winter has passed. Spring is here. That's what you can say also, right? Because it says that during winter time, organism has moved into the habitat. Only during winter, correct? So winter has gone, or a disease actually caused the whole of this S to be wiped out, something like that. So if I add on, yeah, Brian says, it could be another predator of S came into this particular habitat and only eats S, right? That's possible. Okay, so I can change this to open-ended question and then I add in part B, part C, part D to ask you questions, right? So good. When S, okay. It could be that, but Hannah, I don't want to talk about that. Okay, I don't want to talk about that. That is going to be a vicious cycle. Okay, you are thinking. Very good, Hannah. Okay, 6. Let's look at 6. Okay, diagram shows a food web. Now, just now, I